face, but you wouldn't even looking for it. Yeah.
Alright, yo, we are back with yet another episode of Gold Mine Mondays. I'm your host, Billy Slum. I'm excited about today's guest. But before we get into today's guest, I'm going to always give you the gold nugget of the day. This is also provided by our guest. And he says the gold nugget of the day is to simply just be grateful. And I don't think he could have put it any more simplistic than that, but yet so powerful. So I'm going to introduce to some and present to others AlaZ.
Gratitude, man.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Cool, and brother, thank you for coming by first and foremost, man. I know your time is valuable, and we appreciate your time.
Yeah, appreciate you having me, bro.
Yeah, for sure, always, man. I start off every episode and I ask every guest, where did you fall in love with the arts, or what I call this thing about?
So when it comes to the arts, man, really my introduction to it is probably my parents. So the record collection that they had growing up and just the music selection that they was, listening to. We'd be going on trips, you know what I'm saying? They might be playing different records. Of course, it was CDs at that time.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man, like hearing the diversity of what they listen to, that's really what kind of got me. Of course, growing up, of course, on the church background, Mount Olive Baptist Church, like, you definitely got to have an appreciation for music growing up, but the spiritual aspect too, as well. And then eventually getting into the mosque, being in the Nation of Islam, learning about the connection of when you listen to Rakim and you listen to whoever it is, like Brand Nubian, a lot of those,
dropping gems.
Yeah, like they was inspired by like the spiritual aspect of life. So yeah, for me though, like I can remember just my parents playing music around the house, my grandfather playing piano and playing organ, and then my grandmother singing. So like that was always
So you came up around musicians.
1,000%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So set the soundtrack for me, so we can get a glimpse into early the child version of AlaZ.
For sure. Okay.
Set the soundtrack for me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So if you dealing with the soundtrack of how I came up, you gonna have, I would say, Arrested Development. You gonna have Queen Latifah. You gonna have Run DMC. You gonna have George Benson. You gonna have Isaac Hayes. You gonna have James Brown, Otis Redding, Little Richard. Of course, gotta keep it Mactown. And then eventually you get into like Outkast, and you get into even like classical music. A lot of like Latin music as well, Mongo Santa Maria. Yeah, like it was a lot of diversity when it came to what my parents was listening to. And then on my grandparents' side, they're coming from, my grandmother went to Fisk. So she was real informed. She wasn't in the Fisk Jubilee Singers, but she was in the choir, and she lived in Jubilee Hall. Like that was her dorm when she was there. Bruh, so like the way she sang was a very classic, like when she sang hymns and she sang different things, like the vibrato she used.
It was
like
a classical undertone to it.
1,000%. So you got that, and then hymns, man, like Holy, 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 Blessed Assurance. Any hymn you could think about, because my grandfather being the MD and I didn't even know what an MD was at that time, but him being the one that was responsible for the music at Mount Olive, he had to play he had to be the go-to. So like if somebody wanted to play him, he had to play it in different keys. And so he's constantly practicing at the house. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, growing up on the east side, I was born in a house on the west side, on Napier.
Okay.
And then eventually, you know what I'm saying, my family moved over to the east side, and I was between two different neighborhoods on the east side, Fort Hill, and then Belvedere Manor, Weaver Heights. So like that duality was wild as well, being able to see just like the totality of black people, because a lot of times like people try to put us in a box, but
man, we just had the same conversation. Proceed, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's so much, you know what I'm saying, to us. And then fast forward, you get into when I was in growing up, I graduated progressive 2001, was homeschooled during high school, then went to Morehouse 2005. So around that time, you hearing Jeezy, T.I., you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of that, you know, influence as well was something that, you know what I'm saying, really... And then, you know, you got to think about, too, in Macon, a lot of times we don't give our legends enough, you know what I'm saying? With John Amos, Sonny Spoon, you know what I'm saying, Lock Dog, you know, 6ix9ine, you know, like, there's a lot of influence, low-key, all of those different people. And me growing up, even when you talk about Brady, you talk about Doogie Fye, you talk about CMD Styles, you talk about, of course, CMD and Doogie Fye, they two different eras.
Yeah,
but
still kind of one and the same because he kind of piggybacked. Yeah, go ahead.
1,000%. Shoot, I think Chatty at the time, and then Ray, now Young R at that time, doggone
the list goes on and on.
Yeah, man. Like it's so much, and I just always like to show that respect and that love because a lot of times we do get influences from outside of where we from, but there was a big foundation that was laid for us to even do what we doing at this point.
So for you, of course, you said you had that duality coming up with the spirituality side, and then just the whatever jams that your parents was jamming.
For sure.
That all kind of fused into what you do. Tell me when you first picked up the instrument, because we know you nasty on the horn.
Yeah, 100%.
And then also talk about your, I guess your transition into your own artistry.
For sure. It's almost, parallel when it comes to the instrument and the being an MC because before I even considered myself a musician, I always was one because my family, I came from a family of educators. Just the education and specifically the English language. And even though this is not our original language, it's something that we were taught to master. You know what I'm saying? And when I was learning I just figured out, I had a gift for it, and just being around, it's like, if you around hoopers all day, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to learn a crossover, you're going to learn, you know what I'm saying, how to shoot your jump shot, you're going to learn different things. But I was around linguists, you know what I'm saying, and people who wrote, people who spoke, and they appreciated other people like Paul Lawrence Dunbar and Langston Hughes, and, you know what I'm saying, all that, Nikki Giovanni, like all of these different writers. So, 3rd grade, 4th grade was like the music introduction because at Progressive, that's when everybody in 3rd grade had to be on a percussion instrument. And I used to trip because, it took me a minute to develop and get like nice with percussion because they was like, okay, if you like really nice, you're gonna be on the snare drum. So everybody wanted to be on the snare drum. If you was alright, you was gonna be on the bass drum. If you was kind of decent, you was gonna be on the tom. But if you was kind of struggling, they just gave you a cymbal, you know what I'm saying? Not even like the two, you just had one of them things and you just hit that bad boy. Yeah. I was on the cymbal, you know what I mean? Because like, it took me a minute to get into that.
For you to blossom into it.
Yeah. So, but everybody had to be on a percussion instrument.
Okay.
4th grade, everybody got tried out on actual like, instruments that you could, melodic instruments. So clarinets, trumpets, trombones. And it was like either you're going to play a reed instrument, you're going to play a brass instrument, you might still be on percussion, or you might get into like, another type of instrument. So my brother was playing trumpet. Okay. My older brother, and actually my older sister was the first one to play trumpet. My older sister, Roma. Okay. So eventually, you know what I'm saying, we was kind of like, okay, the trumpet, you know what I mean, we see that going on. Big bruh actually like, I'm talking about he took that thing to another level, and I was like, man, I'm trying to be like Big Bro,
So that's what it was.
That was what it was. I was like, man, let me see what I can do with this trumpet, and ended up having a skill for it, and early on. And of course, trumpet ain't nothing that you could just kind of just play around with. You still have to develop, even if you kind of good in the beginning. You still got to put a certain amount of practice. That trumpet is gonna make a man out of you. So yeah. So I ended up. But I wasn't taking it serious. I didn't take trumpet serious for real until I got to Morehouse. And I saw my band director up there, Melvin Jones. at the time he was playing when he was on campus. He was playing with TLC. I think that's how he got his first Grammy. And then eventually he started playing with Jeezy. He started doing like all the Tyler Perry stuff. And then, you know, of course, now he's been touring with Usher and a bunch of different stuff. But at that time, seeing somebody that was that young, he was the youngest band director at that time. And between him and Richard Owens, when I was at Progressive, of course, Rick Hamlin was a big influence and Dr. Turner Golf. But Richard Owens from Clark Atlanta University, he taught us brass band music to teach us jazz. So New Orleans style brass band music. And then when I got to Morehouse, that's when Melvin Jones was really like teaching us that it was more than just back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like history is black and white because that's how the pictures looked back then, but it was live and in living color. And he was teaching us that you could make it your own, and that's when I really started taking the trumpet serious. And as a lyricist, the last thing I'll say on this piece is, in fourth grade, my fourth grade teacher at Progressive, Ophelia Payne, she had us to memorize The Cage Bird by Maya Angelou. And I ain't had no bars at the time, so like everybody was rapping, I started rapping The Cage Bird. So like when they would be spitting their stuff, you know what I'm saying? Which some of them probably had their own lyrics, some folks would probably spitting other folks' stuff.
So we can credit, is it safe to say we can credit the late great Maya Angelou for the beginning of your rap career?
1,000%.
Wow.
1,000%.
Wow, that's dope.
And like, you know, so I'm putting that together, and then eventually I got into my own voice, and 13 I think was when I wrote my first like definitive, like this is my, you know, my own verse. I was listening to Mr. Magic once again, like the records that they would have around. Mr. Magic, you know, when that joint came on, to me, you know, people say that it might say it's jazz or it's R&B or whatever genre they put it in, but to me it sounded like hip hop. And I'm like, and I'm listening to different people that's sampling music, so other stuff gonna be familiar, you gonna kind of get glimpses, but I was just like, man, I could rap this, and like, you know what I'm saying? As the Magic came on, started rapping, and that was the first verse, and then from there it was just like, yo, started cooking up, learning how to make beats, and just everything kind of blossomed from there.
So you just went directly dived into doing everything on your own. So you had that kind of DIY mentality from the beginning.
And really, even more than DIY, I would say that DFS. So like growing up in the nation, bruh, like in real life, do for self, like the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was really informative in showing and demonstrating, because like a lot of people can say something, but when you got your own planes, you got your own, you know, freight trucks, you got your own schools, your own businesses, your own farmland, it's like, okay, this is the culture. Like I said, you go up around a certain element, you start doing that. You know what I mean? So like seeing that and seeing just different people in the nation having their own businesses, having their own, you know what I'm saying, entrepreneurial efforts, because people that say a hustle, you know what I mean, and that's a certain element, but then you got people that would have just on the basic level, okay, I might have some juices, or I might have, you know, some fruit, or I might have, you know, whatever it is, but then you got people that will have their own storefront, you know what I mean, their own restaurants, their own businesses, their own bakeries, you got people that will have their own practices, you know, medical, whatever it is, and it's like, okay, so there's levels to this. And the do for self aspect was always like, yo, you don't have to wait for anybody to give you an opportunity, because of the way we know we have a divine connection. We can, just like the Creator created the heavens and the earth, we can create things on this earth as well.
Created to create.
1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%. And the biggest influence when it came to hip hop, so Maya Angelou was, I would say, the catalyst. Yeah. But when it came to like my favorite MC, that was like, yo, I'm going from rap to MCing, which every MC has to know how to rap, but every rapper isn't necessarily MC.
Very true. So I'm gonna pause you right there, because I feel like you're going into my next question.
Yeah.
So a segment on my show that I ask every guest, and I feel it coming, because this is what I like to do. I'm explaining the segment.
For sure.
It's called the Gumbo Pot.
Okay.
You know, not sure if you even eat gumbo.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
just ain't got no meat in it.
For sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So look. So that proves my point. So everybody makes gumbo in a different way.
1,000%.
It's comprised of several different ingredients, right?
Yeah.
So if we were to break down a pot of AlaZ gumbo, this is where I want to hear all those influences.
For sure.
MC, stylistically, lyrically, and I like to challenge myself to see if I can guess one of those ingredients just by the style of the artist at hand.
100.
But I'm gonna let you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you break that down for me.
All right, for sure. So number one, if we're gonna deal with the gumbo, first, God is the secret ingredient.
Okay.
Secondly, I would say it is family, and of course we're gonna get to the artist, but I want to give some elements that because a lot of times we don't think about these elements that
it does influence your style,
bro.
Everything about you, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So God, family, and then my city, Macon, Georgia, Mactown, that's the core. Any gumbo, any pot that I'm making, that's gonna be in there. You know what I'm saying? Like okra might be for some folk. You know what I mean? Whatever sauce they using, that's gonna be like the base. Then, of course, we talking about poets. So Maya Angelou. I talked about Langston Hughes and different people like that. But now, when it comes to MCs, my favorite MC of all time is KRS-One. So that's the influence for me that...
Okay.
Bruh,
now we're cooking. Keep
you know what I'm saying? When it came to... I remember when I heard the album Sneak Attack.
I wasn't expecting that one. I'm being honest, so keep going.
Bro, when I take KRS-One, the reason I rap...
Okay.
That's an anchor, bro. Even when it comes to freestyling and just certain things that you have to be able to do for me as an MC. Everybody got their different definitions, but for me, gotta be able to write, you gotta be able to freestyle, you gotta be able to tell a story, you gotta be able to move people, you know what I'm saying, and you gotta be honest, you know what I'm saying, in what you doing. And you gotta be versatile, you can't just be one flow, you know what I'm saying. It's gotta be something to where if you're doing this for real, you got versatility in your skill set. So, growing up, the roots, you know what I'm saying?
I know what I know.
Yeah.
I know what I know. Proceed.
100%.
I said, I hear a little bit of Black Thought in there.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm a musical.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I'm picking myself up right
and
now.
honestly, I mean, because if you want to keep it a buck, man, when you deal with from Macon, man, yourself, you know what I mean, Sosa, you know what I mean, there's certain people that have been pillars of the music scene here. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that even if we didn't necessarily make music together, we didn't necessarily always be in the same circles.
Right.
The respect, you know what I'm saying, was there. So
much appreciated, brother.
1,000%. I want to say that, you know what I'm saying, to you personally, because when you talk about consistency, when you talk about versatility, and when you talk about quality, you know what I'm saying, everybody wasn't printing their music up. Everybody wasn't, you know what I'm saying, traveling. Everybody wasn't collaborating. You know what I'm saying? When you look at people like, what's my man, Goody Supreme. You know what I mean? There's so many, you know what I'm saying, that we could go into. But so when I say my city, that's also a part of the fabric of how I do music.
Right on.
When you get into production, DJ Premier, Pete Rock, but also Timbaland, Heavy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. I wasn't expecting that one either.
Yeah, Swiss Beats.
You shocking me a little bit. Okay.
Hey man, it's cause I'm a student of the music, and because I've been in so many different diverse musical environments, cause growing up, my granddad would take us to shows at the Grand Opera House where you might see Pearly, you might see Porgy and Bess, you might see, The Wiz, you know what I'm saying? And from different movies to stage plays to even, like you said, you go into a concert and you might see a symphony, and then being in those ensembles yourself, because we grow up playing, different music in the band, but then You go from the marching band to the jazz band to the concert band to the symphony, and those are all different music environments, brass band, culture, and all of that. So yeah, man, like it's so many different influences. But Arrested Development, I have to go back to Arrested Development.
They don't get enough respect
At all.
They don't get enough respect, man. That's still in a little bit of my playlist too. Not their whole album, but like certain songs.
Yeah, Public Enemy. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
There was a lot of.
So you well versed, man.
Bro, praise God, man. Gotta, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, so growing up too, we weren't at a certain point allowed to listen to the radio. So it was like certain music, it was curated because the same way like you curate what you eat. Yeah. We took that approach as a family to what we were listening to, what we were watching as well. Like we couldn't watch TV for 3 years. And it was like, yo, if something getting ready to come on, you know what I'm saying? It's getting ready to be a VHS tape. It's getting ready to be something that we deem as educational. If it's entertainment, something that, you know what I'm saying, we have agreed upon that this is really entertaining our programming. You know what I'm saying?
What's the difference?
In real life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciated that aspect so that when the TV was cut back on, you was paying attention. You was like, damn, like, why is everything having these same themes? And why is, certain imagery put in front of our face? When it's a black character in the movie, why is this happening? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And if it's a white character or an Asian character, why are these stereotypes, with Latinos and, why are these perpetuated? And then you go to California and you meet, people that may be, Chicano, Hispanic, Latino, however they, identify. Yeah. And it's something, okay, the accent might be consistent with, certain things that you've seen.
You've been made to believe.
Man, it's so much depth and nuance to people, period, and so much connection in, who we are. We got different sauces, different, foods, different ways that we dress, but we all navigating this human experience, and they all are symbolic of the same things. We just do it in different ways. Yes. So, a lot of international music, man. A lot of Indian music, a lot of just like Brazilian music, of course, African music, just a lot of different styles and types of music that, influence my background and what I do now.
Dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it, man. So I called it.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, I hear a little thought in there.
No, for sure.
And you
said
it.
Yeah, for sure.
I know my stuff, man.
Yeah, 100%.
That's all I want to say. You back myself.
100%.
I know my stuff.
100%.
Yeah, man. When did you decide to really just jump off the porch and release your first recording?
Yup. So, man, I believe this year is my 26th year anniversary of creating music. So, I dropped my first project. It was called ACT, and it was when I was at Morehouse. So,
let me pause you right there. First of all, I want to salute you and not being ashamed to say, hey, I'm an educated black man. Yeah. You don't hear a rapper saying, I'm proud of, I'm a Morehouse man.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. So first of all, salute you for being a MC in this hip hop genre where they try to make us feel like the coolest to be dumb.
100%.
You know what I mean? So I want to salute you on that. Proceed.
For sure. And even beyond cool being dumb, like, it's a thing to where our intelligence is not celebrated by mainstream. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, just because my slang might be different, and the way that I'm moving on a street level might not be in the language or the format of a Wall Street professional or, a CEO, a traditional CEO, a lot of times it's not appreciated. It's not, celebrated in the true intelligence. Like the way that we navigate life, there's so many people that if they were in the situations that we came up in, they wouldn't survive. And the intelligence that we had to have to navigate, them situations, man, like, I think it's important that we reframe, how we look at it, because it's super intelligent. And that's why I, along with Morehouse, I celebrate my city as well, because the same value that I give my Morehouse education is the same value that I give my Fort Hill education. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, it's cats that, like, you couldn't drop them on the east side and they really know how to navigate for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The west side, south side, north side, anywhere. You know what I'm saying? They're making, because the same thing that they give New York and say, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. If you come to
Macon, Georgia,
man, please.
Anywhere. I say it all the time.
In real life, you know. So yeah, man, like when it comes to that that education piece, a lot of people don't know that Killer Mike, you know what I'm saying, was at Morehouse. You know, a lot of people don't know that the education that Lil Wayne has. You know what I mean? Like, these people a lot of times may not put it in the forefront because it wasn't necessarily celebrated or received in our circles, our social circles.
Okay. It goes back to programming, like you were saying.
Yeah.
The program think you got to come off as dumb to be successful, or dumb down the lyrics, or
exactly.
You know, proceed.
Exactly. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the MCs that we're looking at are a lot more educated than we think.
Than you think.
Because number one, if we were to transcribe, because writing isn't always you taking a pen or a pencil to a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. Writing is the act of creating the lyrics.
That's right.
So regardless of the vernacular that we use, regardless of the accent, you know, regardless of the draw, regardless of the, you know, what people can decipher or not, if we were to take Thug's lyrics, if we were to take Baby Jungle, we would take, you know what I'm saying, the Baby, Lil Baby, we would take any of these, you know, artists' lyrics, and we would have transcribed it and look at it on a page, bro, you're gonna start to see very complex metaphors. You're gonna start to see very complex just lyrical combinations, and it's like, bro, how did he make that slant rhyme with this? And if you weren't raised in, you know, the South, or you weren't raised in Chicago, you weren't raised in, you know what I'm saying, these different places, this word wouldn't even rhyme for real.
Yeah. Because
you don't even say that word like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like,
so it's definitely a certain skill set that has to come with it.
Yeah, and the writing aspect of it, like the intelligence that comes with syntax and putting words together, just to be a rapper, to freestyle in a lunchroom, there's a high level of cognition that's going on. Mm-hmm. That because we don't necessarily study it, or we haven't necessarily put things together to, you know, put that on paper and explain it to everybody else, we may not recognize. You know what I'm saying? But I recognize that, I celebrate it, and I celebrate all forms. I may not agree with the messaging in all of the music, and I may advocate for a messaging that does more to give life rather than take life. Yeah. Because it's one thing to say, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, I've seen somebody killed, or, you know what I'm saying, I've been in a situation where I've had to sell drugs or whatever, versus promoting and, you know what I'm saying, like advocating for that. You know what I mean? Like, if you talk to anybody that's really from the trenches for real, none of us wanted to experience any of the pain that we had to experience.
I don't want anybody else to experience it.
Exactly. It's a circumstance. We are proud of being able to get through it, but a lot of times that pride and the promotion ends up getting convoluted. And then also too, last thing I'll say about it is, because a system knows that it can benefit off of that pain and benefit off of that lifestyle, it'll promote that lifestyle. And it'll pay us for promoting that lifestyle.
To our own detriment.
1,000%.
I like it. If AlaZ had to create his own dream collaboration, let's say, you know, and I want to be careful with my words because I respect your position. And if you could we would just say hypothetically, if you could take a time machine and go back, grab whoever who may no longer be here physically with us. Yeah. And you had to compose your dream collaboration. Tell me who's gonna produce it, and tell me who else gonna be featured on this record with you.
Okay, so we gonna have Quincy producing that thing. Quincy Jones definitely gonna produce it.
Why Quincy?
Man, look, because the same way that I came up, I feel like Quincy is the one that has the music palette to be able to go in any direction. Because like Quincy was dealing with R&B, hip hop, jazz, classical music soundtracks, like
Frank Sinatra to Michael Jackson, bro.
you know what I mean, like Kool Moe Dee. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Got doing like he was working with everybody, and that's the way that I approach music. Is that broad brush?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But being able to have a very authentic and original presentation and approach. So
producing.
Yeah, so Quincy producing.
All right.
In terms of collaborating, definitely gotta have KRS on that joint.
Okay.
Gotta have and we talking about Time Machine. Okay, so we dealing with folk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Some people get like weirded out when I say if you can have a time machine, you can.
Yeah.
I'm just
for
talking
sure.
like in just in the grand scope of like your dream.
Yeah.
So that's whatever you want.
Okay, got you. Okay, so KRS gonna be on that joint. Layla Hathaway.
Come on, man.
Yeah. We gon'
her vocal is so. It's like alienistic, bro.
No, for sure.
I can't even describe it. Just like her range, and I wish I could do what she does.
Yeah. No, in real life.
Yeah.
How many we get?
Yeah, this is your dream.
Man, look at man, my dream. I got
This
some
is
long
your dream.
dream, brother. Like,
Yeah.
shoot. Okay, so if we gonna do it like that,
Just think if you had an unlimited budget and you came across somebody who had a unreleased Quincy production, and you can actually go get that.
Man,
And you gonna put Layla Hathaway on it, KRS. Who else? You got an unlimited
Gambling
budget.
her.
Okay.
We going get MJ. You know what I'm saying on that.
Okay. All right.
We gonna get Shaka Khan. You know what I'm saying.
So we all the world type.
Man, we could do it like that, man.
Okay.
So let me see. Cause Kendrick and Cole, I definitely would like to have in the room. Sure. Let me see. I want to get it's Unlimited. Whitney Houston got to be on the vocals. Let me see. I'm getting Fela Kuti on that joint.
See, I'm not familiar.
Okay,
put me on.
Saxophone. This is like one of Africa's ambassadors. Bob Marley gonna be on the project.
I'll do that one.
Yeah, we got to, man. Like, if it ain't no limit to the budget,
yeah, man,
we definitely gonna have Bob on that thing. I'm gonna get everybody from the Mac on there. You know what I'm saying?
So to me, and not to interrupt your dream. People say Bob Marley was a reggae artist, but to me, he was a gospel artist.
Woo, you talking now?
So
you talking?
I'm gonna leave it right there.
You talking for real? Okay, so then we go. Kirk gonna be on there. Kirk Franklin gonna be on that thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna get Black Thought and the Roots, the whole band.
Okay.
Man, unlimited budget,
See,
man.
I'd have put you in that stratosphere. Now
Yeah,
now your gears turning. I love it. Come on.
Man, we gonna have cause I gotta have Erykah Badu gonna be in the room.
Okay. So we are the world, but it's gonna be funky.
For sure.
Okay.
Speaking of that, Parliament pulling up. You know what I mean? James Brown gotta be up through there. Did I say Otis and Lil Richard?
No, but
yep.
Sprinkle that sauce.
Come on,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Who else we got pulling up? Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway.
Donny.
Yeah.
Donny was another alien.
Dang.
Alien, man. Vocally.
Moving different.
Yeah.
Dizzy Gillespie gonna be on some horns. Miles Davis will be on there.
Okay.
Herbie Hancock on the keys. Marcus Miller on bass.
Okay.
Gonna have Clyde Stubblefield on drums.
See, you get into some names that I don't know.
Yeah,
So I like this, so it makes me go research afterwards.
And then got on let me see. Dr. Dre in the room just because.
Just because.
Just because.
No, I don't know. Now it might not never come out of it.
Yeah. Hey, look, he gonna have a role. You know, this ain't his project. He gonna have a role.
Sure the mix is immaculate.
For sure.
Surround sound.
Yep. Nah. Dolby Atmos. And then got doing hey man, my friends are gonna know why I say this, but her definitely gotta be in the building.
Her is a beast.
For sure.
I ain't even just talking about in the R&B space, just in totality, musicianship.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Let me see who else. And then I want Amiri Baraka as a spoken word artist.
Okay.
I
know that name. I don't know if I necessarily know the word, but I know that name.
Yep. And then maybe
some research.
Get Yo-Yo Ma up in there on the cello. So Yo-Yo Ma is a classical artist. I'm gonna have him slide up through there.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna give you one more.
Okay. Put me on now.
Hey man.
Give me some research to do.
Come on, man.
Like
Come on now.
We're gonna cap it off.
Cap it off. Let me get cause I want a woman to cap it off. Cause like just the perspective. Oh, let's do Rhapsody to cap it off.
Come on now. She
yeah.
She mean.
Yeah.
She mean.
Yeah.
I like rap.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Okay, I think that's the illest dream collaboration we've had thus far.
Love, man, love.
Okay, you got some. So anybody comes on after AlaZ, you really gonna have to top.
Dream big, man. Dream big, man.
Yeah, dream big.
I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Hey, you tell me, hey, ain't no budget?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, shit.
Yeah. Let's do it. You also big in the community space, like community work. Talk a little bit about that and what you have going on currently.
100%, man. So first, I gotta give honor to my grandparents. So George and Leontine SB on my father's side.
Paternal, yeah.
Yeah, and then on my mother's side, Vincent and Roxy Harris. So on both sides, they come out of the education space. But then my grandfather on my mother's side eventually became a brick mason. And so being a builder, I think that's something that always was in me. And my grandmother being a homemaker, she was always making sure, you know what I'm saying, things were, it wasn't just like a basic, like, let's make sure the stuff is clean. Like, you know, it's like, you know, make your home your heaven, you know, that type of thing.
I can dig it.
So, but they were both educators before that. He was the principal of the school and she was working at the school. Then on my grandparents' side, my grandmother was a superintendent. Of course, they grew up coming through the ranks, G.W. Carver, and then Ballard Hudson. So, like, they were teaching Otis Redding and Zelma Redding and, you know what I'm saying, like, during that, you know, generation.
That's dope.
So, like, and my grandmother and my grandfather were at Ballard Hudson at the same time. And then eventually, you know, she went on to be principal at Central High School. And then my grandfather was one of the first black professors at Mercer University as an English professor. But they were always involved in the community. Then my parents started Torchlight Academy Incorporated, which was how we ended up being homeschooled and making sure that there were things in the community that while the school took care of the academic side, Torchlight Academy was to support the character development, the historical context, and knowing who we are and whose we are, of course, and being able to have that root and that anchor of us having knowledge itself.
Gotcha.
And so my father and my mother, whether it be the Kwanzaa events or Juneteenth, of course, we're coming into Juneteenth season, and we're collaborating this year. First of all, this is the 34th anniversary of our Juneteenth celebration here in Macon. Yeah, man. Like, is big because growing up, I tell my dad all the time, that's a core memory for me. Like the way that certain people have, it might have been a vacation or it might have been, different things. Like when I say I look forward to Juneteenth every year, playing out there in a park that we couldn't come to at a certain point. We weren't allowed as black people to be in that park. But to be able to know the history of Tatnall Square Park and knowing that the Union soldiers, eventually we learned that the Union soldiers, the Confederate soldiers surrendered to the Union soldiers in that park, in Tatnall Square Park. And and we didn't know that. It was just like the momentum of what was happening, you call it ancestral recall, whatever, it just ended up being in that park. And all of the people that, have helped to make Kwanzaa Cultural Access Center and Torchlight Academy Incorporated be what it is today, that is like, it comes out of the church, the mosque, and those community organizations. So this year, we're collaborating with Macon Black Culture, the Historic Douglas Theater, the Middle Georgia Coalition of Black Businesses, the Tubman African American Museum, or Harriet Tubman Museum, and I believe those are the main collaborators that we're working with to have. And I'll give you the flyer if there's a way that you can post it or whatever. But from June 8th all the way to June 21st, starts out with the Junior Debutante celebrating young black girls going into womanhood and learning about themselves, spearheaded by Making Black Culture at the Douglas Theater. Then it goes into Black History van tours where they'll be able to meet at the terminal station. The fire department usually allows us to use the vans to be able to go throughout downtown to learn about, like I said, the brick masonry, the things that black builders were creating, because we might look at certain things as white institutions or whatever they might be, but it was black hands that were laying the foundation for this city. And of course the indigenous history that's here as well with the Muskogee Creek Nation. So the history tours and the Black Heritage tours, they go throughout the city, and that's going to be on designated days. Then we have, there's going to be the Real Talk Hip Hop Summit. So I serve as the executive producer for the Real Talk Hip Hop Summit, which this year is our 21st year anniversary. And we always celebrate the culture and totality of hip hop, starting with knowledge, then dealing with the DJ, the MC, breaking, MCing, graffiti, DJing. I think I got the DJing, hip hop entrepreneurialism, and hip hop fashion. And we have interactive workshops on all of those different elements of hip hop. This year, the MC workshop is going to be led by Cujo Goody from Goody Moore. 100%. And like I said, we always do our best to have a mix of local, artists, our just regional, artists, but then also, national and international artists as well. So we got Minister Server from the Temple of Hip Hop that always does our knowledge workshop. We have, all of these different aspects, but that's going to be at the Douglas, so we're inviting all of it. And it's all ages. It's all ages, family friendly. Throughout the rest of the week, there's going to be, on the same day at June 17th, in the morning is going to be the workshops. Then we'll be at the Tubman to do a percussion workshop that's going to be dealing with African percussion and just indigenous percussion, and us learning more about that art, and also, the history of it and how we could learn from that as well. Then we'll have, there's going to be a literary, I want to say, I don't got to lie. I can go ahead and just, get some actual facts.
Yeah.
Boop. Okay. All right. So Junior Debutante, June 6th, 6:30 p.m. Douglas Theater. Black History Van Tours, June 8th through the 10th. And then also June 15th through the 16th. That's going to be, they'll start at, you got some at 6 p.m. and then I think there may be another time for some other ones. The Wreathland is going to be at Rosa Parks Square, June 12th, 10 a.m. at Rosa Parks Square. The Real Talk Hip Hop Summit, first part, June 17th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Douglas Theater. June 17th, Juneteenth Percussion Arts Workshop, Masterclass, Interactive Performance at the Tubman Museum. June 17th, Tales from the Culture, presented by Making Black Culture. Black Boy Joy is the theme this year.
Okay.
And it's going to be at the Sunset Suite and Lounge, owned and operated by Brandon Harris. That's going to be 5 p.m. And I always, Nadia Harris, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then we have June 18th, Juneteenth Film and Literary Arts Symposium. So that's going to be a panel discussion on documentary poetry and short story writing. That's going to be at the Tubman Museum, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on June 18th. June 19th is the Real Talk Hip Hop Concert. That'll be at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Douglas Theater. And June 20th, 34th Annual Juneteenth Freedom Festival, Dance and Arts Celebration. We're going to have a talent show and jam session, jazz, funk, soul, hip hop, exhibits, cultural marketplace, 1 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at Tappan Square Park. And then the last day will be June 21st. We got the 4th Annual Juneteenth Parade led by Making Black Culture. We'll start downtown, and there's a fireworks show downtown at 4:30 p.m., fireworks show at 9 p.m., and then Jazz in the Courtyard is going to be 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Douglas Theater for Father's Day music concert featuring the Mactown Groove Ensemble, Saxman Gregory Daniels, and Lil Saxman Gregory Daniels II.
Okay. So what I would like to do is if you can give me that flyer, we'll try to incorporate that somewhere in the episode so we can help y'all promote it.
100%. Appreciate that,
Look,
man.
I really respect what you stand for, and I want you to keep standing on that business, man. I appreciate your time, man. What do you want people to remember the most about AlaZ, man?
Remember that AlaZ is a servant of the Most High. You know, we got a lot of different ways that we express ourselves spiritually, even if we don't necessarily identify with organized religion, quote unquote. If we breathe it in through our nose and breathe it out through our mouth, we have a spirit.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So the way that we, even if we just kind of on our own path, the beautiful thing about our spirituality is it's coded into our DNA. So we don't have to have a label to call it. We don't have to have a designated book that we read out of.
Come on, man.
We have principles of truth and just like respect that we deal with and we operate on. That is that's just coded in us. So we see it a lot of times, man. Like I said, I grew up on the east side, and living in Macon, I've lived in a few different places. Specifically Macon, Atlanta, California, between Santa Ana, California, Los Angeles, California, and Chicago.
Okay.
And being able to see, of course, a lot of people that's from the east side know a lot of our connections with the south side of Chicago. But even in our just community dealings, we got certain codes and certain ways that, you know what I'm saying, we move.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That's where it's informed by our lineage. You know what I'm saying? And when we start to study and learn about Ma'at, and learn about Kemet, and learn about, you know what I'm saying, these different teachings, man, because we'll learn about Islam and Buddhism and you know, Taoism and all of these different things, but of course the monotheistic Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. The reason why there's so many parallels is because in our original way that we express those traditions, they all came from the same root.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, man, like I said, just know that I'm a servant of the Most High, who is the author of all life. And I'm a servant of the Most High's people. Sure. So that includes all of humanity. It starts with my people. It starts with black people, you know, unapologetically. And it starts with making sure that I'm doing things for myself and making sure that, you know, I'm good so I can be a servant and serving out of overflow rather than serving out of an empty cup. But then it goes, yeah, man. And then, you know what I'm saying, from there it goes to, you know, your neighborhood, your city. And then your neighbor is your neighbor. You know, you might find yourself, you know, next to somebody that may be from a different culture, a different background, but if you sharing this earth with that person, the energy that you're giving them is going to make up the fabric of our world. So it's like if we just disrespecting each other, now that's a part of the fabric that it may not be the tone of life, but it becomes input into what we got going on. So it's like, man, you could have put some more peace into the world, but you put more chaos into the world. You know what I mean? You could have put more love into the world, but you put more hate into the world. Which there's a time and a space for all of that.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Paying attention to, you know what I'm saying, the default. And if the default, like I said, is gratitude, if the default is love, if the default is peace, then that's my goal, is to help us to have more abundant life through everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a servant. You know, I got everything that I do, man, whether it's the clothing, if it's, you know, different products, the music, all of it is to serve the purpose to have peace in our community.
Right on, man. Tell people how they can follow you if they want to reach out for you. I'm sure you'll speak at functions or whatever the case may be. Tell them how to reach you, man.
Anytime you want to reach out, man, it is www.ALAZ, the number 4, LIFE.com. And that's my website. There is information on there about anything that you need, whether it's merch, if it's shows, if it's anything, but also booking, you know, and that helps to streamline things because it has different fields that let me know what type of event is it, you know, is it a budget, is it not, you know what I'm saying? Because one thing that I've learned now is learning how to balance things, because it's not always about money, you know what I'm saying? However, there is a balance that has to exist to be able to, you know, to move, especially when you're a giver.
Cause and effect, man. You need, we're not dwelling and focused on money, but you need it to survive.
100%. And that balance is, you know, making sure that one thing that I'm learning how to do now is to be able to have a quota. So like, all right, cool. You know, if the event, you know, if it's a free event, I ain't got no problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we came up, and that's what we gonna continue to do. And if I'm in a position to do it, let's make it happen. But the same way, we have to make sure that we start to respect artists with, you'll do an event and you'll pay for everything. You'll pay for the food, you pay for
security.
You know what I'm saying?
You pay for the DJ, you pay for the venue.
Come
on.
on.
You want the artists to come perform for free.
100%. And it's like, the way that they're getting there, the method of transportation that they use is not going to be free. Them to have food in their body to sustain them is not going to be free.
Prepping whatever show they're going to present to you is not free.
You know what I'm saying? The house or whatever, where they going to live is not going to be free. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to have someone that is going to be whole and somebody that's going to be, and it doesn't have to be, because a lot of people glorify that to say, well, you know, the struggle is what makes the music. You know what I'm saying? The struggle, you know what I'm saying? The struggle makes a certain type of music, you know? And guess what? With life, there is no way, I don't care how much money you got, I don't care how beautiful the situation is, life is a series of problems and solutions.
That's right.
So you're going to have problems and you're going to have struggle and you're going to have to deal with that anyway. And you're going to be a real one.
So I put it like this, not to interrupt.
Yeah.
If I come to your job tomorrow and I say, I want you to do the same jobs you're doing for these 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours, whatever you work, but I'm not going to pay you, what's going to be your response?
Come on. Come on.
Just to simplify it.
Straight like that.
But they look at the arts as like, y'all supposed to do this. And you know, you're not international. You're not global.
Yeah.
Why should we value what you've created?
100%.
Like I said, I'm going to pay for the venue. I'm going to pay for the DJ. I'm going to pay for the security. I want you to come, rock the whole crowd, and thank you.
Yeah. 100%. So that balance has got to be there. And I like exactly the way that you put that, because you are providing a service.
You provide a service.
And
it takes time and preparation.
And the service that we provide, when you think about when people play our music, they play our music to heal. You know what I'm saying?
For energy.
Man, you working out to their music, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you might be crying to somebody's music. You might be, like you say, healing. You might be dancing or whatever the case.
Shoot. Baby making music. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real when it comes to the art. You know what I mean?
Transferred energy.
It's definitely so. We always want to make sure that we support that. So like I said, all of the things on the website let me know. You know what I'm saying? Like how I can best serve the event. Because last thing I say is sometimes we have to learn how to be very intentional with the timing of something, because the time might not be right now. And sometimes we have to recognize that, because we have been in, and I'll speak for myself, growing up in certain environments where you have to do certain things, that there's a scarcity, then it's like, yo, I gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, sometimes because we live in that, we might pull up and we got an attitude. We might pull up and we're not in the best space to give the best service, which is not helping them or helping us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to, okay, you know what I mean? If there's a time where, you know what I'm saying, I'm not able to pull up for that, that's just not the time for it right now. But I do want to make sure that we stay connected so that when the timing is right, that it's the right time for both of us.
Yeah, time, place for everything.
100%.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, brother.
I appreciate you, bro.
AlaZ. I'm Billy Sloan. This Gold Mine Mondays. That's all I got, man. We gone.
Yes, Sirski.
Appreciate you, bro.
Got a gold mine right in your face, but you wasn't even looking for.